This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to our review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003 Season 7, better known as Back to the Sewers. This is the 7th and final season of the show, although I just realized that there was a movie also I had to buy because it's not streaming anywhere, and I'll be watching that in just a little bit. Review of it will probably be next week, but there's also an episode of this that I cannot watch because it's basically a lost episode. It is one that was released as shorts, and Nickelodeon slash Paramount really did not find any way to release it officially after it aired all those years ago. So there is an episode that I have not seen of it, but it looks like it was just a bunch of shorts that were kind of like put together. So I could at least be fine knowing that it's not like super major episode towards the plot, but going to it, it begins with an interesting episode that leads to a really disappointing reveal where they have this really awesome like Shredder War storyline going on, and they just never reach it in this. It has the Utram Shredder, the Cyber Shredder, and the Demon Shredder going and fighting each other and each trying to take themselves out. And well, it's also interesting since two of these is essentially the same guy, with Cyber Shredder just being, as we learn towards the end of this episode and into the next one, that well, not really next one, the 2 episodes from now, that the Cyber Shredder is just the consciousness of the Utram Shredder that was uploaded into the internet just to have it back up just in case. And that would have been a really interesting thing. I'm guessing that was something maybe planned for a later season, and then it just got completely cut out, and it's honestly really disappointing because that would have been a super interesting storyline. Seeing these three different versions of the Shredder, one of them being the original Shredder that they fought, the second being the one that's a literal demon, and then the final one being the new Shredder that was introduced here. And honestly, it was just really disappointing in that. So yeah, we see viral. I forgot what her name was yesterday, but I just remembered it today. Going back in time and trying to destroy the turtles with a time window. This leads to her eventual defeat, but also her nearly killing Splinter and spreading him throughout the internet in a just really weird CG state where I feel like they probably should have just regularly animated it, but it just looked really odd because it was one of those really blocky CG things of art where it was pretty unnecessary. But just going into the season, it's mainly focused on them trying to reassemble Splinter by getting all of his data bits from across the internet, and it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that didn't fully understand the internet, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just a fun story, and even though the fact that you probably wouldn't be able to store an entire person's consciousness in the internet, you could just say Utrum technology, yeah, stuff, and it could explain it. But yeah, honestly, just going into this season, the most odd thing is that it has just this odd change in art where they are showing the turtle's eyes. I don't know why it's for this specifically because in between like recording this I did have to take a break to do some other stuff where I did start watching that movie, and they go back to the art style where they have the like the kind of classic superhero thing where the eyes are white and not actually showing their actual eyes. And for whatever reason, in this specifically, they are showing the turtle's eyes, which just looks so odd because of how they were doing it differently for such a long time. And this movie is very clearly set after the events of the series based on the stuff that's going on in it. I won't mention that any specifics right now, but they basically, set things up even more for what could have went into this Shredder War storyline. At least from what I've watched up to this point, I don't know if the Ujram Shredder that is sent back at the end because I'm still like have like 30, 40 minutes left in it. But for now, I'm seeing them, potentially being able to set up the three versions of the Shredder fighting. But going back into this, it was another just interesting season as it continues on. There's definitely the weird one with essentially evil engagement ring, and just the one thing I'm thinking during this entire episode is cast it into the fire, destroy it. Classic Lord of the Rings stuff. And just continuing through it, there's one where they team up with Baxter Stockman, who has his body being hacked by the Cyber Shredder, and I mean that was kind of interesting to see them being able to fight a Shredder in this kind of makeshift armor, which was pretty interesting to look at. Now, just moving on, there is some interesting things where the turtles get mind controlled by the Shredder, and then it's everyone else trying to break this mind control on them. It eventually does work out, and it is interesting. And then just going through some other stuff, there's the one I skipped over, like when Sterling gets sent back in time and is a toy that the turtles are obsessed with, and they have to fight some crazy toy maker until they reconcile and realize that this toy is kind of useless, and then Sterling was returned to the future, which was, I mean, it was a ridiculous episode, but it was kind of fun. And, just going through the rest of it, bunch of stuff that was interesting. There's the one where they're stuck in virtual reality, and even if it didn't have virtual reality in the name, I think it was very obvious they were in a simulation. They have the portal blow up just kind of out of nowhere, and you see this device make it into the turtle's lair where you're not really sure that the foot actually knows where the shredder's lair is, which is definitely interesting because we do know that under his being brainwashed, Casey was telling them everything, but it looks like he just gave them the description of the layer and not its actual location. And just continuing through this, going towards the end, there is their battle between them and the Cyber Shredder where they seemingly kill him. But of course, just like the original Utrom Shredder, this guy just won't stay dead. And there's a funny one where Raphael basically becomes a Green Lantern knockoff, and it was definitely interesting to see that. And then finally there is the finale, which is April and Casey's wedding, and that just breaks into absolute chaos as a massive, just like battle to death happens at it, and they're able to seemingly kill the Cyber Shredder, but presumably if well, it looks like at least two of those Shredders are dead now for that Shredder War. That's obviously what I'm be calling it because it's what it essentially is. The Shredder War storyline says that both the Cyber Shredder and the Demon Shredder are still alive, but it looks like they were both seemingly permanently killed, but I don't know, they brought those back and I'm not done with that movie yet, so I don't know what they do to the Utrom Shredder, but yeah, honestly it was definitely interesting. I had a great time watching the show and wraps everything else up really nicely at the end. Really everyone's there to witness the wedding, and it is honestly just really well done. The show is honestly a really enjoyable show, and I had a great time watching it. And I'm glad I saw that there was a movie because that's honestly, it's been a lot of fun to watch so far. And yeah, really, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna go finish up that movie now, so I definitely want to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.